95% of you won't watch this. The other 5% of you that do will thank yourself in 5 years. The 95% that don't, you'll wish you had 40 years from now. With that being said, I want to tell you all a little story about something my father taught me when I was younger, about creating a conscious decision about what I wanted my future to look like. So I was in high school and I was a senior, very naive thinking, average high school kid. And my dad sat me down one day and said, "Hey, I want you to write this essay for me based around you going and looking at jobs you would like." For instance, he sent me this link and he said, "Hey, these jobs, top 10 highest paying jobs in the world, go check these out and see which ones you would like most." So I did. And I did not want to do it at the time. I was very reluctant. And he said, "You have to do this. You have to do this." And I think this was back half a senior year in high school. Anyway, so I did. And I came away with it just pretty much just giving it to him and saying, "Dude, here it is. Okay, cool." And he looked at it and he was like, "You half-assed this." And I was like, "Yeah, I did. And I don't want to do this. This is dumb. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do with my life. I shouldn't have to do this." Looking back now, I can see the wisdom from my father's eyes in this ask from him. So the importance of this is many of people out there will tell an upcoming college student, they'll say, "Hey, get a job you'll love, get a job you'll like, and get a job that pays you well." The problem with this is there's not enough emphasis on get a job you love. Let me explain. There was a study done in Johns Hopkins University that said that 50% of lawyers that get to the highest point that they can, being a partner in a law firm, 50% of them are still unhappy, even after they achieve that huge success. And they even went as far as allowing that study to show that those lawyers were less happy than lawyers that were providing the lowest service to criminal defense. I think that says a lot about our society today in terms of the reality gap between choosing what you want to do with your life. That decision leads to the rest of your life. Not that you can't make other decisions along the way that, navigate you in different areas, but that one decision, in combination with the college 4-year boost, that launches you in a specific direction that takes your eye off the rest of the ball. So you're still focused on baseball. You're still focused on that because you made the decision to play baseball. But you're not looking open to, for instance, racquetball or handball or tennis. You may be even better at tennis and racquetball, twice as good, 3 times as good, 10 times as good at racquetball and tennis, but you never tried them out. So you'll never know. To me, that's wasted opportunities and wasted capabilities. So, I'd like to say that creating a conscious decision about what career you want to go into based around what major you do has a huge impact on what you want in the future. So I made the decision back in senior year to become a mechanical engineer. And this quickly changed it, but this was based around the fact that I liked Legos and building things and using computers to find new ways to build new things. And I like to understand new things, and I like to learn new things, and I like to innovate. But this all kind of changed after I talked to one of my dad's friends at an event with his company, a software development company. And what this guy talked me into was that software development was the future, and he's right. It is the future with AI, with cryptocurrency, and everything else. So I changed my major. I wanted to go into management information systems, which was one of the high-level classes at Alabama. And I pictured myself being in a consulting type role in a couple of years that I may or may not like, but the pay is going to be good, and I'm going to like the pay. So let me check this real quick, make sure we're good. So I liked the pay, whatever. So 5 years later, I took this job and found that it wasn't all that what it was stacked up to be. I was getting paid well, and I had a good team of good people around me. So what I want to give you guys, so you guys don't make the same mistake I did and not taste testing everything that I could before I made a conscious decision on my future. I forgot to mention that when you're creating a conscious decision about your future, taste testing every single little piece of a career that you think you may want, as well as finding mentors in every single career that you think you may want too, so that you can see what they're doing and you can see if you could picture yourself doing what they're doing now. There's 3 questions I want to ask that most people will give you an answer, but I want to give you some questions that will spark your creativity in your head, spark your innovation factor. So 1, what are you good at? I'm good at golf, I'm good at baseball, I'm good at racquetball, I'm good at tennis, sports. I'm good at understanding, learning, talking, communicating. I'm good at building, I'm good at computers, I'm good at Legos. Used to love that as a kid. Who doesn't? Number 2, what do you like to do? What do you love to do? I loved to play golf. I loved building Legos. I loved these computers. I loved innovation. I loved creativity. I loved comics. Number 3, what can you do to give back? Or what is useful? for me, what I would have answered back then would have been, I'll create something new. I'll provide something cool for the world. If somebody asked me this question, this is the way I would have answered it. I'll create something new for the world. I'll research new ideas, new understandings that are just new in science so I can be on the front of the trend. Understand these things and then translate them to a simpler version so everyone could understand in a simpler way. I think this has these questions that really translate and really relate to quotes and things that people like Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Tom Bilyeu, Gary Vaynerchuk, Lewis Howes, all these high level entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs at that will agree to. Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson. And I think if you can ask yourself those three questions, what are you good at? What do you like? And what's useful for the world? How can you give back? Those three questions will provide you a meaningful life that you'll love, that the money will come. There's also one more thing that Tom Bilyeu says. What he says is, if you would reinvest what you've already invested to get to where you are now, if you would have reinvested all of that same energy and time to where you were initially, then you're good. But if not, cut the cord now. Much love. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, God bless.